Welcome back to Simplified Psychology. For years, the world praised the I-shaped specialist, one deep pillar of knowledge and nothing else. But as we approach 2030, the M-shaped professional is taking over. This is someone who masters multiple domains and uses far transfer to solve problems that others can't even see. Today, we're exploring the psychology of idea synthesis and why your diverse curiosities are the key to thriving in a wicked world. You weren't meant to be a specialist. You were meant to be a bridge. Let's explore why. You know that suffocating moment at a dinner party? Someone leans in and asks the inevitable question. So what do? Your brain instantly hits a 1,000-way junction. You are a graphic designer who writes clean Python script. You are a student of cognitive neuroscience who spends your Saturdays in a dusty woodshop. You feel the urge to explain it all, but you hesitate. Why? Because we've been conditioned to believe that a scattered interest is a sign of a scattered mind. For decades, the T-shaped model was the holy grail, but even that felt too narrow. We were told to pick a lane and stay there until retirement. If you didn't, you were labeled a dilettante, a person with a butterfly mind, fluttering from one flower to the next without ever producing honey. But here's the truth they never told you. In an era of rapid obsolescence, the single-lane specialist is the most vulnerable person in the economy. The 20th century was built on what psychologists call kind learning environments. Think of a chessboard. The pieces move in set patterns, the board never changes, and if you lose, you know exactly why. In a kind environment, repetition is the path to godhood. But 2030 is not a chessboard. It is a wicked world. The rules are hidden. Feedback is delayed, skewed, or non-existent. Patterns from yesterday don't apply to tomorrow. If you are a hyper-specialist, a mile-deep, inch-wide pillar, you are essentially a world-class typewriter repairman in the age of the cloud. You are technically brilliant but economically irrelevant. While others are trapped in their single pillars, you are building an M-shaped identity. The first leg, this is your economic anchor. It might be software engineering or data analysis. You go deep. This pays the bills and earns you a seat at the table. The second leg, this is your humanity anchor. Perhaps it's behavioral psychology, storytelling, or fine art. You go deep here too. The horizontal bridge, this is the magic. This is where your woodworking, your poetry, and your obsession with medieval history live. When you stand on two deep pillars, you gain a perspective that no I-shaped specialist can see. You aren't just a coder. You are a coder who understands why a human feels anxiety when using an app. You aren't just a designer. You are a designer who understands the physical constraints of material science. The greatest advantage you possess is far transfer. A specialist uses near transfer, applying a solution from one part of their field to another. But you practice the art of the unexpected. You see the branching structure of a river system and realize it's the perfect metaphor for optimizing a corporate supply chain. You take the rhythmic structure of a musical fugue and apply it to a user interface. This is idea synthesis. This is the only territory where AI cannot compete. An algorithm can analyze 1 billion data points, but it cannot stand at the intersection of technical constraint and human emotion to create something that feels like magic. The anxiety of the polymath comes from trying to do everything at once. This leads to being dash-shaped, a mile wide and an inch deep. That lack of depth creates a groundless feeling. The secret is serial mastery. You don't build your pillars simultaneously. You build them in seasons. The season of focus. Spend 6 to 18 months obsessing over one pillar. Aim for functional fluency, the 80-20 rule. You don't need to be the world's leading expert. You just need to be able to solve complex problems without a manual. Strategic graduation. When the diminishing returns hit, you don't quit. You graduate, you move that skill to the maintenance shelf and start your next pillar. Look at Albert Einstein. He wasn't a professor when he wrote his most famous papers. He was a patent clerk. It was a low-drain job that provided financial stability and mental surplus. To thrive as an M-shaped person, you must protect your mental energy. If your day job consumes 110% of your bandwidth, you have no room for the random explorations that fuel your genius.
Find your patent clerk role, a stable platform that allows your mind to wander the universe after hours.
The World Economic Forum has already sounded the alarm. By 2030, the ability to pivot will be more valuable than the ability to know. The jobs of the future, creative technologists, bioethicists, algorithmic architects, don't exist in a single textbook. They require people who can speak 3 languages at once. So if you've spent your life feeling like a misfit, stop. You weren't scattered, You were diversifying your cognitive portfolio. You weren't a dabbler, you were a scout for the future.